like button. Hit the like button now. Yeah. Hit the like button. Hit the like button now. Yeah. Go ahead, hit the like button. Thanks for stopping by. We back in here. $25 live stream goal for me to stay on 2 hours. Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs, all at the top of the chat. Whatever you can give is greatly appreciated. $5 makes you the live stream sponsor, king or queen of the stream. And or you could do super chat or super sticker, which is the dollar symbol on the right of the chat box. Even though YouTube take 30% off the top and make me wait 30 days to get it, but 70% of something is better than 100% of nothing, you dig? Other than that, let's get into this ridiculous nonsense. Hit the like button. Let's get the donations up.
Really just another grifter, because I hadn't seen her have a man at all. But this is what women would rather listen to. Women would rather listen to Sarah Fontenot, who isn't even talking about her relationship or her man or any of that. But let's listen to her, man, and she's going to tell us exactly what I just said about how femininity in this form, in this Americanized form, challenges masculinity. Let's listen to this foolishness, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Another life hack for the men. Y'all ready? Femininity tests. It is a way that we feel safe. So now I'm really testing you to see how far will you let me disrespect you. But ultimately, what I want the most is my man to be a leader. So if you stop me from the beginning, I might be cussing you out in my mind, but secretly I love it. Secretly, I'm like, ooh, my baby, that's a man right there.
All right. all right. That's some real shit. But I gotta dive deeper. She just worded that as if you check me up front, then I won't test you no more. Like if I test you a few times and you check me a few times, or even if you check me throughout the first year, then all right, cool. You passed the test, I ain't gonna test you no more. That's a myth. She's gonna test you for the rest of your life if you stay in a relationship with her. You know what I mean? You know, keeping a woman in check is a day-to-day task. You never get to go on cruise control. just keep that in mind. She's not lying though. These women, I mean, I don't know if I would call it femininity test, but I would just say women test, and it's a part of their nature. I don't know if I would call it femininity, but yeah, it's part of a woman's nature to test you for the rest of your life as long as you stay with her in a relationship. And here's the thing. What up, Picasso? Here's the thing. If you pass the test for 20 years, that first year that you stop passing the test, she'll lose all respect for you. Because here's the thing. Most men are going to eventually get beaten down to not passing the test anymore. And that's when she loses respect for you. Completely. You have to constantly reinforce the boundaries every single day. And she's going to keep coming up with like new ways to test the boundaries without, pushing past the ones you set yesterday or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's going to find a way to keep testing you for a lifetime. And there's a strong argument to be made. The shit just ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. But let's continue.
Secretly, I'm like, ooh, my baby, that's a man right there. That man took charge over me. You're letting me know how I get to move and shake within your boundaries because you're the lines. We're the color. You got to teach me to color inside of the lines. So if you don't.
No. I don't like how that was worded. She know what disrespect is. This woman is 40 plus years old. She know what's disrespectful. Never give women that pass of, oh, I didn't know what I just said was disrespectful. They always know. They live for that shit. They've been living for that shit since 5 and 6. They know what a slick comment is. Never let a woman gaslight you into thinking, oh, what I said, I ain't mean nothing by that. Why you tripping? No, they always mean something by that. Fellas, by the time you get a hint of, oh, that was kind of disrespectful, trust me, she knew it was disrespectful before she said it. Never let any woman convince you they didn't. Oh, yeah, she's going to play dumb if you call her out. It's just in their nature. But she knew what she was doing before she said it or before she did it. Trust me. Woes are 10 times more calculated, manipulative, and petty than we are. Never let them gaslight you into thinking otherwise. So she's going to keep testing you. Yeah, part of it is to continuously test you to see if you're fit to protect her and provide for her. But another part of it is they just love stirring up drama. So it's both of those things. I want to stir up some drama, and I want to continuously see if you fit to protect and provide for me. Because if you can't check me, how you gonna check these niggas out in the streets? I'm just a woman.
What? What are you talking about?
Funky dog head bitch. How dare you, punk motherfucker? Back off, bitch, before.
I mean, damn, sis, why does somebody have to tell you not to be a bitch? Why is that your go to?
Me know how I get to move and shake within your boundaries because you're the lines. We're the color. You got to teach me to color inside of the lines. So if you don't set that
Hold up, let me get this straight. So I'm supposed to work hard to build this life that I'm building, establish this life that I've established, maintain this life that I'm maintaining, which takes leadership, which takes dedication, which takes determination, which takes focus, which take grindaholic capabilities, which take a workaholic mindset, which takes having a decent enough relationship with God where things aren't coming and able to sabotage what I'm doing. And then I'm supposed to meet you and I got to teach your ass how to color in the lines. You should learn that in kindergarten. Your daddy should have taught you how to color in the lines. You mean tell me you done been in all these relationships in your life because you ain't no virgin? You done been in all these relationships and I got to teach you how to color in the lines? See,
No. Because like I corrected her, you're not teaching her anything. She know how to be a respectable. Well, how can I word this? They know what it is to be a respectful human being. They just don't want to do it, and they don't have the maturity and the emotional discipline to do it, even if they wanted to do it, which they don't because they love stirring up drama. So no, you don't got to teach them anything. They know what's up. They ain't that fucking stupid. They just don't have what it takes to live up to that standard. But they know what that standard is. I don't know if that's giving them an out by saying they don't have what it takes to do it. Um, they have to be made to do it. I'll just put it like that. Well, maybe I should word it a different way. There have to be strict consequences if they don't do it. I just put it like that.
relationships in your life because you ain't no virgin. You done been in all these relationships and I got to teach you how to color in the line. See, let me tell you something. One thing about a grifter, eventually a grifter is going to expose that they just grifting. When you hear a woman say femininity test, only this Americanized version of femininity test. Because in other cultures, women can't test masculinity. There's punishment for testing masculinity. If you want a wife, you go get you a woman from a culture where women are punished for testing masculinity, where women are raised from little girls that you don't test masculinity. Now, in those cultures as well, men treat women a certain way. But these women over here say they want to be treated like that. But how you going to be treated like that when you want to test masculinity?
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that women from other cultures don't test men at all. Maybe it's to a lesser degree, but if I had to just take an educated guess, I would say those women test men too. Just it's less intense and less disrespectful. Um, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The more a woman feels like you're equal in a relationship, the more she's gonna disrespect you. Because some people will say, "Oh, do you want a woman to kiss your ass?" I mean, unfortunately, that damn near has to be the dynamic in order for her to act like a decent human being. Like, yeah, just kiss my ass, then, yeah. Because when we set the dynamic up like we equals, you don't know how to handle that and still be respectful. So yeah, just kiss my ass or get out. But see, that's what the whole live out girlfriend setup sets up. Like if you start tripping, just hey, leave. You can come if you want to come back. You can come back when you start acting right. But if you tripping, don't even come over here this weekend. If I'm about to get off work and you call me tripping on some bullshit, don't even come over tonight. you see, you see how that keep the boundaries up and it keep her acting right by having daily consequences of not acting right. If I don't act right, he's just gonna tell me not to come over because yeah, she don't got a key. So yeah, if I trip too hard, he just gonna kick me out his house. And I see when you live with her, you don't got that type of leverage really. You can't enforce those daily consequences like that. But yeah, a hardworking man want to come home and feel happy about coming home. A hardworking man don't want to come home. I gotta hear this bitch or what's she gonna be tripping about today? No, don't no man want that. Why would any man want that?
Treated like that. But how you gonna be treated like that when you want to test masculinity? That's this whole thing where we talk about taking the boo boo test, bro. I ain't taking no boo boo test from no woman, dog.
I wanna touch on this too. Men who just had flyby relationships and situationships and stuff like that, they can't really give advice on how to maintain a woman in a household for 40 years. Because he's going to be talking about how, like, yeah, once you start tripping, I kick you out. Well, okay, cool. So you can give men advice on how to live that particular lifestyle that you live in. But he couldn't give a man advice on how to maintain a woman in a household for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I would love to interview a man who got his woman in check after 20, 30 years of living with her. And she still stay in check for the most part. I mean, they're human. They're going to slip up sometime, but I would be highly impressed even if a guy managed to just keep her in check 80% of the time, living in a house with her for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I would love to hear about how he maintained that leverage. You know? But yeah, it's easy to say that when you're not having any real relationships with women. It's easy to just say, "Oh, once you start tripping, I'll just go kick you to the curb." That advice wouldn't help, men who actually want to maintain a relationship with a woman for years, living in the same house. Or even if not living in the same house, but he wants to maintain a relationship with the same woman, whether that's live out girlfriend or whatever, for the rest of his life. That advice don't help those men.
This whole thing where we talk about taking the boo boo test, bro. I ain't taking no boo boo test from no woman, dog. You're not finna test me. Test me how? And I want you to think of something very profound that she said that we overlook because it's a safe word. The word is safe. That's the way she feels safe. Baby girl, if you need to test me in order to feel safe, you go over there and deal with your damn trauma. That's trauma speaking. And I want you to see how excited she was. Talk about this is a life hack for the men. Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all better stop letting women be y'all leaders. If a woman is your leader and you fall into that trap, dog, you're not blessed. You're cursed.
That's big facts. That's big facts. I would say I would say the majority of men who are in relationships with women are being led by women in America, at least. Most married men, most married men are being led by their woman. I would even say most men in relationships are being led by their woman. And that is a living hell. Yeah, you're cursed if you find yourself being led by a woman. But that's why the woman is supposed to love the man more than the man loves the woman. Because in order to lead a woman property, in order to lead a woman properly, you have to love her with your mind, not your heart. That's how you remain above her and being able to lead her properly by staying above her. When you all in your feelings and you don't want to lose her and you can't eat and sleep without her, nah, you ain't gonna be able to lead a woman in that mental and emotional state, bro. Nah. I would tell a man to never love a woman with his heart. Ever. Always with his mind. So when a woman say, "Oh, do you love me? Do you love me?" I love you when you acting right. And I don't when you ain't. I'm gonna say that again. When a woman asks you, "Oh, do you love me? How much do you love me? Do you love me?" I love you when you acting right. And I don't love you when you're not acting right. It's simple and plain. I think every man should tell his woman that.
If a woman is your leader and you fall into that trap, dog, you're not blessed. You're cursed. To be a man who has a mindset where you openly and willingly follow a woman, dog, you're cursed. And you got to understand that you're cursed. It's a crazy world we live in where a woman can do all of this, ain't got no man, and can say, well, femininity test. Well, that's why you ain't got no man, because your femininity test. Man, I've been cutting bras loose my whole life, man, for testing me. You can't test me. I ain't finna be tested.
See, how do I want to word this? What up to you, Orlando? How do I want to word this? Hmm. It's the easy way out. Like, I would just say it's fine if he wants to live his life. What up, Mr. South? It's been a minute. What up, Mr. South? I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to find the words, y'all. There's a bunch of men who, despite being red pilled, they still want to be in a 50-year relationship or 40-year relationship or whatever with a woman at some point, somehow, some way. What? Sorry to come into your Black Panther party, guys. Okay, Loy. I'm assuming Loy is what? What's your race, Loy? What up, John? You got everybody coming in at the same time. Yeah, what's your race, Loy, if you don't mind? We're not gonna roast you. If you're a pale man. Wait, the word is slavery? Alright, I'm lost in my own chat. Anyway. Um the whole thing about I'll just walk away from her if she start tripping. I mean, okay, what's your end goal then, Mr. Dr. BOA? What's your end goal? Hey, if your end goal is just look, I hang out with chicks until they start tripping, and I'm gonna do that until until I pass away. If that's how you want to roll, fine. Um, some men would say, that's too easy. That's the easy way out. A real man stays in a relationship with a woman and figure out a way to work it out. And look, I'll say this because I just was talking about this a minute ago. If there's a man out there who is able to be in a relationship with a woman for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and keep that bitch in check and keep that bitch respecting him for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that is a supreme superior man. Because I don't know how the nigga do it. So I would give him full props. Like, yes, you are an elite, supreme man for cracking that code. Because it's a code men have been trying to crack since the beginning of mankind. So I will actually, I'm trying to word this right so I don't, I'm just trying to word this right. the men who could keep a bitch in check and respected them for 50 years, hey, he is a real man. That's a special motherfucker, y'all. He got us beat. He got most guys beat for sure. I didn't get it, Loy. I definitely didn't get it. I could be slow sometimes. I think this is what I was trying to articulate. If a man just run away every time a woman tests him, then I can't really say that's a strong man when it comes to dealing with women. The man who could stay in the relationship with the bitch for 5 years and still just keep her in check, I would say is somebody who could say, "Hey, listen to me when it come to women, because I know how to keep a bitch in check for years, and I know how to defeat and handle all these problems she throw at me." I'm not saying a guy should want to deal with all that shit, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna say you got the answers with women, you know, I don't know if he's saying he's a dating coach, Doctor BOA. I don't know if I don't think he considers himself a dating coach. Um, but look, I'll tell y'all where I don't have the answers. I haven't cracked the code on how to manage a bitch successfully to where it's worth it for decades and decades. Um, a constant battle. Yeah, it can be described as a constant battle. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll say a constant battle. It shouldn't be a constant battle, but I do think it's a daily task. There's some women who are more chill than others. There are some women that take less managing than others. I mean, yeah, if you constantly got to check a bitch, then yeah, that's just not a woman worth being with. Period. Um, but let's just keep it moving.
Ain't got no man because your femininity test. Man, I've been cutting bras loose my whole life, man, for testing me. You can't test me. I ain't finna be tested. Because here's the thing about testing you. It never stops. A woman will test you, and then you prove yourself and you pass that test, and a woman will test you again. And I want
Well, yeah, I don't think Doctor BOA gets it. Then I don't think I don't think he fully gets female nature. Then because it's almost like he's hinting that yeah, he's gonna find a woman where they don't constantly test you, or not constantly, but he says I've been cutting women loose for testing me my whole life. So I'm curious, does he think he's gonna find one day that doesn't test him, that he doesn't have to cut loose? That's what I guess I'm trying to figure out. Like, bro, Dr. BOA, you're never gonna find that woman. I guess that's my point. So if you a man who wants to be in a relationship with a woman, you just have to accept that there is never no, oh, I put you in your place when you tried to test me that one time, and then I'm cool for now on for the next 40 years. I ain't never gonna have to check you about nothing again. So I wouldn't necessarily say every woman is gonna be a constant battle, but I'll just call them consistent checks. It might not be a big check, might be a quick little, hey, no, don't talk to me like that. Might be a quick one of those. I'm not saying it's a we're arguing 24/7. That's not what I mean when I say you constantly got to keep women in check. It's just human nature, man. We human. Women are gonna raise their voice sometime when they shouldn't have raised their voice. They gonna say a slick comment when they shouldn't have said a slick comment. It doesn't mean you fighting with her all the time. It's just little moments. It's just little moments. Because just like as the man, you're gonna have little moments that are less than masculine. You're gonna have moments where you fall short of the honorable word of man. Oh, for sure. So it should be expected with a woman. It definitely should be expected from a woman. But like I said, I I just promote live out girlfriend at best. I just I just promote live out girlfriend at best. So when she tripping, yeah, go home. Or if she tripping, don't come over for a few days. But here's the dynamic that I think works. Like let's say you want a family and you do want to live in a house with a woman and make a family work. I'm not gonna begrudge a man for wanting that. But what I would tell him is the dynamic needs to be like she doesn't need to feel comfortable talking to you a certain way. The same way she wouldn't feel comfortable talking to her boss a certain way. So in my opinion, the way that you can successfully make a family work is that woman needs to be in the mindset that um my man is my boss. And like some of the guys in this space say, the only way to keep her in that mindset is for her to feel like I could legit get fired. And here's the problem though. When you live with her and you're invested in her and y'all got a mortgage together and she got a kid with you, she feel like, man, this motherfucker ain't going nowhere. See, that's when they get you. When they just pretty much know you ain't going nowhere because you want to be there for the kid. Y'all both on the house and all that. Um, that's usually when they show their ass. That's what make it so hard. Well, yeah, like Lloyd said, you can't be her boss if you don't have any means to punish her. That was a weak fucking attempt. But um yeah, it's hard to maintain that boss dynamic if you don't have any means to dish out real consequences. And like I said, when y'all have a kid together and y'all live together, it's a lot harder to just up and leave. So yeah, that's the hard part. So I haven't cracked the code yet on that. But I will just generally say that the dynamic for a household to work and a family to work for 50 years is that woman treats that man like he's her boss at work. Now, how to actually get her to do that, hey, we still got to figure that one out, fellas. Now, see, well, let me put it like this. I feel like there may have been, well, not feel like I've heard of this. I don't know if it's true. I haven't did my own research. There was a time in history in America where, like, if the woman wanted to leave, like the guy got the kid, and the bitch just had to go out in the wilderness and fend for herself. Like, but it was a time when the guy could say, "Bitch, you better act right, or I'm gonna kick your ass out, and I'm keeping my kid." She didn't have any, rights to take the kid away and take half of his house and all that shit. So really, that's the way that we can get the dynamic back to where it should be. Is XY's having the power? Like, oh, you want to leave me, bitch? All right, peace. I'm keeping the house. I'm keeping the kid. I'm keeping the car. Good luck. I'll let you visit the kid, but good luck. We need to go back to where the woes don't have any leverage or plights, and then shit could get back in order. That's really the answer. And back to where society would shame a bitch. Like, oh, you had a kid, you had a husband, you couldn't treat your husband right now. You just out here and just yeah. But I don't think that's gonna happen, guys. So live out girlfriend at best.
You to understand as you prove yourself and you pass that test and a woman will test you again. And I want you to understand as men, we've gotten into this cycle. And so we know that this is what these women will do. But instead of telling men, man, you ain't got to deal with that. We live in a big, huge world. Whatever flavor woman you want, that they're available in other areas of the world. You don't have to just deal with Black American women. There's Black women everywhere. You don't have to just to deal with white American women. There's white women everywhere. You don't have to just deal with Hispanic American women. There's Hispanic women everywhere. You don't have to deal with, America.
All right, let's move on. Let's get the likes up. I don't know, T Orlando. I don't know. I don't think so. Specifically with B Dubs. Maybe with the Snow Bunnies, T Orlando. I don't think nothing could get the B Dubs back in pocket. God can't tell a black woman nothing. So yeah. I think a lot of black women would rather just let a dude give them the beats by Dre until they expire before they submit. Honestly, can't tell a black woman shit. She would rather pass away than be like, okay, you got it, babe. Okay, nah, she'd rather pass away. For real. Oh my gosh. Thank God. um. So yeah, before we start this next video, and this is a good one. I mean, it's fucking 30 minutes, but uh, you ain't gonna watch the whole thing. Well, it shouldn't be that bad, but um, um, let's get the donations up. If y'all want me to stay on 2 hours, Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs, all at the top of the chat. Or you could do super chat, super sticker, dollar symbol on the right of the chat box. $5 makes you the live stream sponsor. Whatever you can give is greatly appreciated. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get the likes up too. What the likes looking like? What the likes looking like? 8 likes. That's just disrespectful. All right, so we're gonna take a break until we at least get 11 likes. Just get the likes up, and I'll start the next video. The like button. We need 11 likes for me to get back started. 15 people in here. Only need 2 more people to hit the like button before I get started. Yep. Da 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 da. Hit the like button. 2 more likes. Hit the like button. Hit the yeah.
Oh, you ain't know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, man.
Back to the question you asked me earlier of what's the dollar amount of money, right? Notice as you make more money, your position changes of how you handle things, right? Like you've got more to lose. And so you do a risk assessment for everything.
Yep.
And when you're only making $40,000, no shade, when you're only making $40,000 and you decide to date a woman,
Yeah.
number one, the pressure is mounted immediately from
Yes.
the door. Now, when the fire is on, you can't afford to put it out. And you are now at a place where you're like making irrational, emotional decisions.
Hell no! Hell no!
What? What are you talking about?
You know what? I was gonna say something, but let's let her cook just a few more seconds. Give her the rope and let her, you know what, herself.
Are now at a place where you're like making irrational, emotional decisions, right? And you're like, well, instead of paying the electric bill, I'm gonna go get those new Jordans.
Which is really
right?
feminine,
Or
by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
get her that thing that she's been desiring because her anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, where do I even start? So she's saying that when a 40K a year man get with a woman, he's feeling pressure to buy her stuff that he can't afford. So he'll make irrational decisions with money to be able to buy a bitch some Jordans. So he'll say, I'm not gonna pay my electric bill so I can buy this new bitch I'm fucking with a pair of Jordans. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, maybe there are some guys who try to struggle to do things they can't afford to do to get a bitch, but that definitely isn't me. And I don't think that's most men who make 40 to 50K. They gonna meet a bitch and not pay their electric bill as a 30-plus-year-old man to try to impress a bitch. So I'm gonna be in the dark so I can try to impress somewhat. Let me guess, some old bitch over 30? It's starting to not make sense already. This is getting off to a horrible, horrible start. And it seems like she's dumb as fuck.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Oh, I don't need. Let's just continue.
Which is really
right?
feminine,
Or
by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
get her that thing that she's been desiring because her anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
But
If you are a person who does what they just said, I don't see how you're not homeless, almost crackhead. I'll be honest with you. There is no possible way. Maybe there is a person. I've never seen him. Is there? That's what this conversation is being built off of. Let's see what you say about talking about this man who clearly has a mental problem.
my rent is due. Been desiring those new Jordans.
Which is really
right?
feminine,
Or
by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
get her that thing that she's been desiring because her anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
But my rent is due. I'll just pay it late.
Yeah.
You a person that's making 50K is gonna rationalize that decision very differently than someone who's making 150K.
Yeah.
You think a person making 50K will rationalize giving the lady that they're with a gift instead of paying rent or paying a bill, but a person with money won't expound?
The thought process that goes behind it, the diligence in determining the risk assessment is vital for someone who's making a large amount of money or what
Yes.
they would consider a large amount of money.
Yes.
Those qualities are missing in people that don't make a lot of money.
I agree.
Because we operate in scarcity, we operate in survival mode,
Survival.
and we will press that red button even when it says not to.
Mhm.
We're like,
Yep. That's so true.
It's
I don't know. I think that's women. I think women are compulsive spenders and shit and emotional spenders. And I think women who make 40K will go buy some shit they can't afford, even though their electrical bill is due. I think she's projecting like women usually do. I think there's way more, 40 and 50K earning women who do shit like that than 40 and 50K earning men. I think men are just better with money. I think a 40 to 50K man would live off 20 or 30 and have a decent amount of savings put away, even if he did want to buy a bitch something. But let's just continue.
Survival.
and we will press that red button even when it says not to.
Mhm.
We're like,
Yep. That's so true.
And so that's why I say if you're not making enough money to actually court a woman, I'm not telling you to court her and pay her bills from the first day. I'm not telling you to court her and, trick off and just buy her a bunch of stuff and love bomb her.
Mm.
What I'm saying is if you meet someone and you say, damn, this woman's got potential, you've got to think immediately, how do I need to be able to to support this woman outside of emotional and mental, financially support this woman in the decisions that she makes. Because one day those decisions will directly affect me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break that down. If he's looking at how she spends and what lifestyle she live, and he's thinking like, oh, one day this is gonna affect me, wouldn't he try to get all the stupid shit in check, get all the stupid spending in check, instead of trying to match it? That is how men think. This bitch spending crazy, blowing money on dumb shit. I need to see if she can get on my program with spending, or I need to stop fucking with this bitch. Not how can I step up and blow money on dumb shit just like she do. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Financially support this woman.
Let's see. If Trump tries to run it back in 2028, I don't think he. I don't know. All right. Anyway, you know, I don't think a man should meet a woman and think, how can I put this? This is why dating over 30 is dumb. It's so fucking dumb. You were supposed to find your mate before all this talk of who gonna pay who bills and yada 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 would even come into play. Because we both broke and we both building together. That's what makes the most sense. But dating over 30, no man over 30 should be dating a woman over 30 thinking, how can I take care of this woman financially? At that point, we both grown. That bitch need to be bringing something to the table financially. How can, if anything, how can this bitch lighten my load? Like, because if not, the bitch ain't worth it. I'll just rent a bitch. You see what I'm saying? Because the way she's setting it up, a bitch would just be another bill. A man would be better off just staying by himself and getting a prostitute from time to time and a twerking maid. Like, yeah, I totally believe that women should bring something to the table financially. I don't give a fuck if I'm a millionaire. Let me get that 30K. I'm gonna put that 30K you make a year in investments. I totally believe in a woman. I totally believe in a woman investing financially into a relationship. I need a woman to invest in me in multiple ways to show me how devoted she is to this situation. Mentally, emotionally, financially, every way, sexually. I need you to show me in every way you could possibly show me you really down for this shit and you really need this to work out, want this to work out, all that.
This woman outside of emotional and mental, financially support this woman in the decisions that she makes. Because one day those decisions will directly affect me.
Yeah.
So don't immediately trick off on lady. Be prepared to trick off on lady. Because that's what it sounded like you just said. You said don't
Like if a woman from the jump.
immediately. Got it.
And also, I feel like if a woman from the jump will let you pay all of her bills, she doesn't like you.
She definitely doesn't like
She doesn't
you.
like. She's just sticking around to see what she could get.
She is here for
A good time.
For a good time.
Not a long time. She will maximize every option to the most.
And as she should, because if you're one of those, you should milk it, girl.
I'm a horrible person and I'm telling other women to be horrible people. AKA, I'm a horrible person and I'm telling other women to be a horrible person. Milk it, girl. Get all you can get from that nigga. Yeah, it's cool to use people, right? As long as they letting you use them, it's not morally wrong to use them. Oh my gosh, women in their stupid fucking hats. Her hat must be too tight. Her weave and her hat must be too tight.
Good time.
Not a long time. She will maximize every option to the most.
And as she should, because if you're one of those, you should milk it, girl. Milk it like it's the last farm in Atlanta or wherever you're from, baby. Milk that thing. Because if you are a man that feels like you have to show up in that way because your character is lacking, then and you choose to lead with your coins because your character
Wait. You basically started off saying a man should have the bag before he even try to date. But now you saying women should milk the man for leading with the bag because he lacking in character.
Is this camera on me? Yes, it's on. That's stupid. Use your common sense.
What kind of shit is that?
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Men lead with their bag because women like you and what you teach other women. Y'all basically spew this shit that it's all about the bag. But now you want to say women should penalize the man for leading with the bag. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But niggas fire out you, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
It's the last farm in Atlanta or wherever you're from, baby. Milk that thing. Because if you are a man that feels like you have to show up in that way because your character is lacking, then and you choose to lead with your coins because your character is lacking, then don't get.
You don't know if the person's character is lacking or that's just he likes giving women money, which is wild. I will say that's wild, but you don't know if his character is lacking. First off, let's get one thing straight. It's wild whenever I hear women like Smokey the Bear over here. It's wild when I get to hear them say stuff like this. But if a guy do this exact same thing but flip it for a woman, like, you know, because her character is lacking, I'm gonna just use her body. I'm gonna just milk it. I'm gonna milk everything out of her. I'm gonna do everything I want to do, and guess what? I'm gonna leave you. It's a problem. It's not a problem that Smokey the Bear over here said it, and Sarah.
You like an ATM and assassinate.
It's not. That's what you're doing with a guy with his money. That's what you're doing. But I guess it's cool when they do it. Problem I do it.
Get upset when they treat you like an ATM and assassinate your account.
That was it right there.
When you
shut the hell up, Sarah. You're starting to.
You lead with money, honey. That's you know.
Ooh,
men
that was the
really
one.
Men hate this conversation, and it's usually the men that aren't making money.
Yeah,
that
of
really
course.
hate it.
I always
I am.
You hate it. I just think you're mentally disabled. I don't hate these conversations. I mean, they're really stupid. They can be a little annoying, but I'm not mad. Well, first off, I'm not attracted to you at all. So if I was gonna trick off some money on a bitch, which I never was into, even when I was young, the idea of it just was like, hell no. Even when I ain't had no money, the little money I had, like thinking about tricking off on a chick, nah. I mean, I would do something for a chick if I felt like she deserved it, but not just because, oh, I gotta impress her with money or what I could buy her. No. How many chins do this woman have? It's always the women with 6 chins talking shit. And an awkward fucking suit jacket on and a stupid fedora or whatever, future hat, whatever the fuck, Pharrell hat. I don't even know what I was about to say. Here's the thing. It's not that the men who don't make a lot of money are mad that they can't afford you. They're just mad and offended at your offensive character. They're not mad because it's like, damn, I don't make enough to get these baddies. Look, most men don't want you fucking stuck up entitled baddies. They want to fuck you. They don't want you like for long term. They just want to get you for the night. They don't want to get you for a lifetime. These bitches be talking like all these men want them. Not just not like for a quick fuck, like want them for a lifetime. They're so confused. But here's the thing. 40K men can afford to fuck a bad bitch for $300. That's in a 40K man's budget. She ain't gonna talk about that. Every 40K man on the planet can afford to fuck a bad bitch. Even if we say $1,000, a 40K man could stack up $1,000 and fuck a bad bitch. So any dude who's paying thousands and thousands and thousands just to maintain a woman who's clearly a piece of shit is a complete idiot. And he's losing far more than the 40K broke man is losing. Actually, the 40K broke man is winning by not being able to get a piece of shit like you. Yeah, I wouldn't even want you for a pump and dump. You would have to pay me to fuck you. I mean, yeah, you could fuck most bad bitches for $500 for sure. Yeah, especially B Dubs.
Men hate this conversation, and it's usually the men that aren't making money.
Yeah,
that
of
really
course.
hate it.
I am making money. I want y'all to know I am making money. Don't you ever take a shot at me like that again, Smokey the Bear. Don't you ever. Goddamn. Why do everybody do I react to? They chin disappear when they start talking.
Say the modern woman.
But if they understood, like, okay, if you want, who was it that was just the Sherry Shepherd show? So when I did a podcast, it went crazy viral. It ended up on Sherry Shepherd show. And Sherry was talking about the perspective of if you make less than 50K. And she's like, you know, you can date and you can find love, but not with me.
Touche.
And shout out to Sherry for having me on the show. But I felt like that was very diluted and it was safe.
Okay, here's my question. What makes you bitches expensive? Is it your careers? Is it your body? Is it your looks? That's what I would ask this woman if I was sitting on this fucking stupid couch. I would ask her, what is it that makes a woman worth all this money? Is it because she look good? Is it because she's educated? Is it because she has a fancy career? Is it because her personality is so great? Like, if you had to explain like why it's worth a man that makes all these thousands of dollars to trick it off on this woman, like what is it? Is it her mind blowing conversation? I would love to hear what her answer is. Oh gosh. There that's paying thousands and thousands of dollars to upkeep her lifestyle. I would love to do a study on his brain and see what the findings would be. It has to be mental retardation. It has to be. She's extremely annoying. She's extremely annoying. She's not particularly attractive. She has an awkward shape. The fuck is she wearing? I'm just gonna stop. All right, I'm hungry. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm gonna play this until I get back. Let's get the donations up if y'all want me to stay on 2 hours. I mean, I'm almost at an hour. So I'll probably stay on for another 10, 15 minutes unless we get the donations up. Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs, all at the top of the chat. Let's get the likes up. I'll be right back.
What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. I wanted to come out here today to have a conversation with you guys about an important issue. And I'd say a good 70% of you are either unaware that this is taking place, or you're aware of it, but you just don't want to accept it. So what I'm going to do in today's video is explain it to you so it clicks. And you can take the information and do with it as you'd like. Now, there was an old way of doing things in regards to intersexual dynamics, relationships, families, marriage. And there's a new way of doing things. The majority of people out there are still operating as if we're doing things the old way. They're slapping this preset filter on it that doesn't fit. It's incompatible. And the old way of doing things went like this. A man sees a woman that he likes. He knocks on her door. He introduces himself to her father. He has a respectful conversation with her father. He meets her mother. The father asks all the important questions. What do you do for a living? What are your plans for the future? What is it about my daughter that you like? Why do you want to take her out? And if the father approves of you, of the man, he'll let you take his daughter out. You can begin the courting process. And assuming that she's excited and she's into you, you can ask the father for her hand in marriage. And that's the end, right? You get together, you get married, you start a family, and that's the story. So throughout pretty much all of recorded human history, that's how it was done. But that's the old way. Okay, there's a new way. And as much as all the do-gooders out there and all the blue pillars out there want it to go back to the old way, it's not. Okay, the new way is here to stay. And in order to illustrate this for you, to help you understand this, I'm going to use a reference from the movie Titanic. The movie Titanic was a pop culture icon, still is. Not because it's based on a historical event, not because an iceberg hit a boat and it sank to the bottom of the ocean, not because it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, but because it represents a young woman in her young hot prime who is being forced into the old way of doing things. Her father is in charge of hypergamy. Or excuse me, her mother. In this movie there was no father. Her mother was in charge of hypergamy. And her mother declared that she would skip over the alpha bad boy side of hypergamy and she would move straight on to the beta bucks. So in the beginning of the movie, she was being courted by a wealthy man, the beta bucks that she would marry. But this movie came out in 1997, just as the internet was starting to take off, just as cell phones were starting to take off. You know, social media was on the horizon. It was right around the corner. So we were changing. And Rose declared her independence. She said, screw this. I am not skipping over the alpha bad boy side of hypergamy. I am not going straight to the beta buck side of hypergamy. My parents are not going to make this decision for me. I'm going to get screwed in the back seat. This is what she said. She said she wanted a man to screw her in the back seat of a truck. And not just any man. An alpha bad boy. A man that she perceived as a hot alpha bad boy. And damn it, she was going to do whatever it took to accomplish that. She would risk her life. She would disobey her mother, be disowned by her mother. She would ruin her future. She would do anything. She would move mountains to get in the back seat with a man that she perceived as a hot alpha bad boy. Okay? That's the societal change that was taking place. I think it clicks now, right? I know you probably didn't see it that way last time you watched Titanic, but you can't unsee it after you really pay attention. She was declaring that nobody can tell her that she has to settle for a beta bucks. You know, her parents couldn't prevent her from going through the hoe phase. Her parents were not in control of hypergamy, she was. Now, back to the real world. As I said, throughout most of human history, the parents controlled hypergamy. The parents controlled the men and the women. You know, they controlled the careers of the men, the pathways that the men would take. And they typically sort of arranged marriages for their daughter. And they were very hypergamous, the parents were. This is where the term hypergamy comes from. It's not a feeling that women have. It's an order that took place where parents tried to put their daughters in arranged marriages where they would be with like a higher class, like a wealthier class. There's a modern term for it too, but that's historically what it meant.
Well, I'll just say this. For my theoretical daughter, I really wouldn't give a fuck about the money aspect. I want my daughter to be with a good man, fucking period. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy if my daughter married a good man that works at Lowe's. You know? But that's just me. Let's get back into it.
With me.
Touche.
And shout out to Sherry for having me on the show, but I felt like that was very diluted and it was safe, right? Like she played it safe.
Yeah.
And smart because you're on daytime television.
Right.
But over here in internet world, we say what we want. And the truth is,
True.
Sherry, that man cannot court you making 50K.
No.
He can't because your courtside seats are 50K.
Who the hell is trying to court a 30-plus-year-old woman? Courting is for 18 to 23-year-olds. What kind of weak men are y'all fucking with? Nobody's trying to fucking court an old bitch in her 40s or 50s. These people are fucking delusional, man.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
Is this woman married? That's what I want to know. Are you married talking all this shit? Because that's what the point of all this shit is. Dating is to start families. So if you ain't getting married and starting families, what the fuck we talking about, really?
What? Like you can't and that man cannot court you making 50K.
No.
He can't because your courtside seats are 50K.
50K.
What? Like you can't and she knows it.
Yes.
And they all know it.
Yes.
But it's like you have to date within your bracket of your bank account. And that
Yes.
means now that you are working, dealing, loving on a woman that doesn't have that same level of ambition as a Sarah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same dreams, goals, and desires as a Coach Lee.
Yeah.
Men don't want women based on their ambition, degrees, and careers. I don't know why they don't get this. Why is this such a hard concept for them to grasp? Especially top tier men. And we know those are the men she's talking about. They really don't give a damn. All right, wait, how long have I been on? All right, I'm out. Sorry. Remember how others treat you is their karma, how you treat others is your karma. Be nice to people because God's watching. And remember, I'm a nice guy. I just play asshole on the internet. And I've never done anything remotely wrong my entire life. Ever. I'll see you guys tomorrow between 6 and 8 p.m. Central Time.